going to share 6 reasons for you to not buy a house. This is primarily aiming at first-time home buyers. There's 6 reasons you don't want to buy a house. Bad, right? Whatever. These are 6 common reasons that I hear a lot, that a lot of the lenders I work with hear a lot, that people come and they're blocking their own ability to buy a house. Right? So what I want to do today is I want to go over these 6 common myths, if you will, of reasons you shouldn't buy a house. And let's get to the bottom of it and let's see what's really going on here. All right, so here we go. Number 1, don't have enough money for a down payment. All right, 20% down. All right, everybody's heard that. Right? And there are people, normally not first-time home buyers, that they have to put that 20% down. All right, first-time home buyers, that's not always the case. I would almost say that's very rarely the case. All right, so here's the deal. It depends on the type of loan that you're looking to take advantage of. All right, the 2 most common ones is an FHA loan or potentially a VA loan for somebody who has served this country before in the military. All right, so if we have FHA or a VA loan, what that normally is somewhere between 3 to 5% down, right? So that's a very doable thing, right? If you're looking at saving up for a house, 3 to 5% is a very reachable, very doable thing. 20%, that's a big number, especially out here in San Diego if you're looking at a $500,000 house. All right, but here's the thing. With the VA loan, it's 100% financed. You can put 3%, 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever it is down, and at the end of the transaction, once escrow closes, you're going to get that money back. That's a huge advantage for everybody out there who served this country in the military. All right, now, one thing I do want to be clear about, right? There's something called PMI, or private mortgage insurance. Right? And what that's doing is it's protecting the lender should somebody who takes a home loan default. If you're under 20% down, then you have to have the PMI, the private mortgage insurance. All right? Once you get to 20%, then we can make that go away. All right? So a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about today, right? If you have more questions, by all means, type them in below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Speaking with a mortgage professional, speaking with a lender, that's your best bet because they're the subject matter experts, right? They handle the loan. I handle the house, the purchase, the transaction. All right? So I'm just giving you 6 reasons here of why people think they shouldn't buy a house. All right? So there's number 1. Number 2, can't afford a mortgage payment. A lot of people look at the rent they're paying each month and they say that that's the same thing as what they would have to pay in a mortgage. All right, but let's take a look at something. When you're paying for rent, you're paying the mortgage, plus tax, plus insurance. You're paying that for the owner. And the majority of the people that are renting houses out aren't doing it because they're just wanting to be nice. It's an investment. They're trying to make money. They're trying to build their wealth. Right? So they have a profit being added in. So can't afford a mortgage payment. In order to really know what that number is, to know what that looks like, you have to go talk to a lender. There's no other way around it. And if you go talk to a lender that is good and that's looking out for the people that they're working with and they really care, they're not going to run your numbers and go, oh yeah, hey, you're good for $750,000. What they're going to ask you is, how much do you want on a monthly payment? If you tell them, well, I'm spending $2,000 a month right now on rent. Okay. And they'll reverse engineer a couple different loan options for you, keeping that payment at that level. That includes the tax, it includes the insurance, it includes the HOA, it includes the Melrose, all that stuff. And then with that number, you can actually go and say, okay, this is what I can afford versus this is what I can buy. Right? You want to be able to afford what you can buy. You do not want to be house poor. That's terrible. All right? Number 3, poor credit history. Okay, there's a lot of people out there in that situation. In general, you got to have a credit score of 620 or higher. That's kind of the initial benchmark that a lot of people are going to look at. There are new products that are starting to come out that are lower, right? Even into the high 500s, right? Now with that, you're going to have to pay a higher interest rate. You're going to have the PMI, right? But it is a doable thing. It's a very doable thing. What do you have to do? You have to go talk to a lender. If you want a recommendation for a lender, let me know. Shoot me a message. Right? Type it into the comment box, send me a private message, send me an email, call me, text me, whatever it is. I'll put you in touch with a top-notch lender who's going to do amazing things for you, if at all possible. All right? So, 620, that's kind of what we're looking at. All right? If you're under that, if you're in the high fives, go have a conversation with the lender. Even if you don't have the credit score that they can work with today, they can help get you moving in the right direction. They can put you in touch with people who repair credit scores so you get that moving in the right direction, and maybe in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is, your credit score is up over 620, boom, you have the ability to get a mortgage. All right? Number 4, no credit history. Fresh out of college, never had a credit card, something like that. There are ways to establish credit history. You can Google it, right? A really easy way to do it, right? Have your landlord report your rent payments to a credit company, like Experian. I believe actually Experian has now made it easy enough that the landlord just has to click a couple buttons, and if they aren't willing to, you can self-report your own rent payments. Start establishing the credit history. Again, talk with the lender. All right, number 5, you have a new job, or you have a newer job. You don't have the history of working somewhere, right? You really have to, at this point, go talk to a lender. There's no other way around it, right? They're going to need to take a look at everything that you got going on. One thing you can do kind of adds a little bit of, a little extra on your end. Have your boss write you a letter. Hey, John Doe's been working here for 3.5 months. He's an exceptional employee. She does a great job. She's always on time. They're leading the company in sales. Whatever it is, have your boss write a letter, right? And it's not only what are you doing now, but what have you been doing, right? If they're the consistent track record, right? So talk with the lender. That is not an automatic disqualifier at all, right? Now, number 6, finding a home in my price point that I like. That's a big one. That's a really, really big one, especially out here in San Diego, because starting home price, $300,000, $400,000. That's your entry-level home. And when you compare that to what people can get for an entry-level home in Phoenix, right? You're looking at a condo for $400,000 in Phoenix. You got a darn near mansion, right? So, starter home, starter home, starter home. Say it with me. It's a starter home. The thing that people have to wrap their heads around, everybody has to wrap their heads around to some degree or another, it's not where you start, it's where you end up. If all you can afford is a 2-bed, 1-bath condo, you're going to start accruing wealth for you and your family with homeownership, not with renting. You're paying the landlord's mortgage, tax, insurance. You're making sure you're paying a little bit extra so he's got the profit in there too. Start paying yourself. Start building that wealth. You hold on to that house for a year or two. You've saved up more money. You've gotten a raise. You've gotten a new job that pays higher, whatever it is. Now we go from the starter home to the next home, to the next home. And guess what? At some point, you start going back down. All right? So it's not where you start. It's where you end up. And what happens if, oh, man, I can only buy this crappy 2-bed, 1-bath condo, and it's not the greatest area, and I'm just going to keep renting. Okay, you can. What happens in 12 to 18 months when you have enough equity built up in that, you refinance it, you drop the mortgage payment down, the PMI is gone, and now you decide, hey, let's rent this puppy out. Let's say you're now renting it out with the mortgage, the tax, the insurance, and a little bit of profit, as you see right here on number 2. You can take 70% of that rent. That's income for your next house. That's $1,400 a month in a pay raise you just got. 12 months, 18 months of living in that crappy condo that I don't really love. Right? Now you're renting it out. Now it's generating income. And you are now able to leverage that property to get the next house that you're wanting. And if you keep doing that, how much wealth are you building for your family? A lot. That's where people really start to build and accrue wealth. All right? So, finding a home that you like in your price point. You got to be realistic. Right? It goes back up to number 2, I can't afford a mortgage payment. Go talk to a lender. Say, hey, I want to buy a house. I'm only really comfortable spending about $2,000 a month. What does that put me in at? A good rule of thumb. For every $100,000 that you borrow, it's roughly $600 a month for the mortgage payment, for the loan, right? That doesn't include the tax or the insurance, HOA, Melrose, any of that type of stuff. All right, so if you're looking at a $300,000 house, you're looking at roughly $1,800 a month, right? Then you got insurance put on top of that, you got the Melrose, HOA if it's there, etc. All right, so it's not where you start, it's where you end. It's where you end up. All right, so thank you everybody for checking out this video. I hope this shed a little bit of light on debunking these 6 common myths that we hear a lot of reasons to not buy a house. All right, hopefully everybody who's watching this can see, hey, you know, if I really want to start accruing wealth for me and my family, maybe you're a single dude, maybe you're a single gal out there, 23, 24, 25, you got a great job, right? I see, hey, Mark, I see you're on here, right? Military dude, Mark, thank you for your service, all right? What happens if Mark buys a crappy little condo that I don't like very much, right? He's in the Navy. He spends a couple more years in that house, hanging out, having a good time, and all of a sudden, investment property. Now Mark's got a bigger house. Now Mark's accruing wealth. Mark gets out of the Navy and he's like, hey guys, I got like 5 houses that I rent out. And I own that big ass house over there on the beach. Right? It's a doable thing. Right? You gotta talk with the lender, you gotta talk with the realtor, see where you're at, and then make the decision. Alright, so everybody, thanks for checking out the video today. I appreciate it. If you have any questions along the way, type them into the comment box below, shoot me a message, whatever it is. I'd love to chat with you and try to help you out, see where you're at in terms of buying a house, and if you need to talk to a lender, I can put you in touch with one that's outstanding. So all right, everybody, have a great day. Take it easy.